On 7 October 1571, in the Gulf of Patras near Lepanto, a great sea battle decided far more than control of one coastline. It still matters because it shaped Mediterranean power, faith, commerce, and the limits of empire. By the early 1570s, the eastern Mediterranean was contested by a powerful Ottoman Empire and a fragile coalition of Christian states. Each side feared losing trade routes, coastal strongholds, and prestige across the sea. Venice wanted to protect its maritime lifeline, Spain wanted to check Ottoman expansion, and the papacy worked to hold the alliance together. The coalition was powerful on paper, but uneasy in practice. The Ottoman side brought experience, discipline, and confidence from years of campaigning. Their commanders expected another hard-fought naval victory, while their opponents hoped that unity could offset fear and division. The leaders carried heavy pressure from courts, allies, and their own reputations. They were expected to win, yet each also knew that one mistake at sea could echo across kingdoms. Both fleets depended on thousands of rowers, sailors, soldiers, and support crews. Galleys needed food, water, powder, spare timber, and constant labor, so logistics mattered almost as much as courage. Weapons were mixed and transitional. Cannon, arquebuses, pikes, swords, bows, and boarding gear all shared the same deck. The battle belonged to an age when sea combat still ended at close range. Morale was uneven on both sides. Some men believed they were defending their faith and home waters. Others simply hoped to survive the day and return to port. In the weeks before the battle, fleets gathered, scouts watched the horizon, and commanders tried to read each other's intentions. Every movement at sea could signal attack, retreat, or deception. The route to Lepanto brought the opposing forces into the Gulf of Patras, a narrowing space where maneuver was limited. That geography favored neither side, but it made confusion costly. The battlefield was shaped by islands, headlands, and shifting water conditions. Even before the first shot, commanders had to judge currents, wind, and the danger of being pinned near shore. Weather added uncertainty. Light and wind could change quickly over the Gulf, altering visibility and the handling of sails, while rowers supplied the real power that kept the fleets aligned. The Christian coalition formed a broad line, trying to balance its wings and keep a reserve ready. Its plan depended on coordination because one broken section could expose the whole formation. The Ottoman fleet also advanced in a structured formation, confident that momentum and seamanship could overwhelm the coalition. Its commanders expected to press forward and force a close fight. The opening phase began with cannon fire and maneuvering as both sides tested range and alignment. Smoke drifted across the water, making signals harder to read and decisions harder to trust. At the center, ships closed enough for arquebusiers and archers to matter. The battle quickly became a series of narrow contests, where timing and position mattered as much as numbers. On the wings, the fight became especially dangerous as ships tried to outflank one another. A successful turn could isolate an enemy vessel and create a gap in the line. The pressure point came where the center absorbed the heaviest strain. There, the battle slowed into a grinding struggle, with both sides trying to hold formation under mounting confusion. Commanders on both sides faced a difficult choice: reinforce the center, protect the wings, or seize a local opening. In a battle this large, a single decision could ripple outward fast. The decisive movement came when one side managed to press an advantage at the center and nearby ships converged. That shift changed the rhythm of the battle and forced others to react. As the fight tightened, some vessels were isolated, while others struggled to keep pace. The battle no longer looked like two balanced lines. It became a series of local emergencies. The coalition's reserve helped stabilize the line at crucial moments. That reserve mattered because it gave the fleet one more chance to absorb shocks and exploit openings. On the Ottoman side, the battle's tempo became harder to control as pressure built across the formation. Once momentum slipped, even experienced crews had to fight the current of events. Breakthrough and collapse did not happen everywhere at once. Instead, the battle unraveled unevenly, with some sectors still resisting while others lost cohesion and began to drift apart. By late afternoon, the outcome was becoming clear. The surviving ships of the defeated side tried to escape, regroup, or cover one another, while the victors secured the field. The immediate aftermath was crowded with damaged hulls, exhausted crews, and drifting wreckage. Even in victory, the sea remained dangerous, and recovery took time and discipline. Prisoners, survivors, and the wounded had to be managed, while ships were repaired or abandoned. The battle's human cost was measured not only in losses, but in endurance. News of the victory spread quickly across Europe and the Mediterranean. For supporters of the coalition, it felt like a rare and dramatic check on Ottoman naval power. Yet the war did not end at Lepanto. The Ottoman Empire rebuilt naval strength, and the Mediterranean remained a contested world where ports, islands, and trade continued to matter. In the years that followed, the battle's symbolic value often exceeded its immediate strategic effect. It became a reference point for courage, coalition warfare, and the power of maritime organization. Historians still debate how decisive Lepanto really was. Some emphasize the tactical victory, while others stress that larger political and economic forces continued to shape the region. They also qualify the battle's reputation by noting the limits of galley warfare, command coordination, and the difficulty of turning one victory into lasting control. The details matter as much as the legend. Some accounts simplify the battle into a clean clash of civilizations, but the reality was more complex. Political alliances, local interests, and practical seamanship all shaped the outcome. Lepanto also reminds us how quickly sea power depended on people, weather, and timing. Grand strategy still had to pass through the hands of rowers, gunners, and helmsmen. Today the Gulf is quieter, but the landscape still carries the memory of that day. The same waters and shorelines help explain why commanders fought there at all. Standing by the shore, it is easier to understand the scale of the encounter than to imagine its noise. The battle was vast, but it was also made of individual choices in a confined sea.